listening to PetLifeRadio.com.
Oh Behave is brought to you by Petco.com. Petco is a leading specialty retailer of premium pet food supplies and services, offering more than 10,000 high-quality pet-related products. Enter the code BEHAVE10, BEHAVE, the number 10, and get 10% off any order. No minimum at Petco.com.
It's Oh Behave with Arden Moore, the show that teaches you how to have harmony in the household with your pets. Join Arden as she travels coast to coast to help millions better understand why cats and dogs do what they do. Get the latest scoop on famous faces, their perfectly pampered pets, and who's walking who in Rin Tin Tinseltown. From famous pet experts and best-selling authors to television and movie stars, you'll get the latest buzz from wagging tongues and tails. Garner great pet tips and have a doggone fur-flying fun time. So get ready for the pause and applause as we unleash your Oh Behave host, America's pet edutainer, Arden Moore.
Welcome to the Oh Behave show on Pet Life Radio. I'm your host, Arden Moore. Our special guest is quite at home behind a radio mic, and she has a cat who puts a capital C in cool. Please give pause and applause to a very talented radio personality, Kerri Kasem, and her black and white tabby named Kid D. Hey, welcome to the show, Kerri.
Hi. Actually, it's so funny. I have a story about the kitty. I rescued him, and his name was Oliver, and I would just call him Oliver Kitty, and he got used to Kitty because I'd say, here, Kitty, 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 when it was time to eat. So his name kind of went from Oliver to Kitty, so I made a tag, and the tag read Kid space D. And everybody, I was living in an apartment at the time, I got it 11 years ago, and everybody would say, Kid D, and it was just supposed to be Kitty, which was so funny. So I had to change, the spelling of his name to Kiddy instead of the other way. So that was very interesting. Nobody would say Kitty.
Well, I think you do score some points for cleverness, Kerri, and if I was Kid D, I wouldn't be kidding when I say I'm a pretty lucky cat to have you as a pet parent, you know?
Yeah, definitely.
Now, if Kerri's voice sounds a little familiar, that's because she's all over the airways and on TV. Currently, she co-hosts a podcast show called The Sixth Sense Radio Show with Nikki Sixx of Motley Crue fame. And she also hosts the Kerri Kasem podcast on thekpod.com. You've seen her host on MTV, on E!, Spike TV, and she and Kid D recently shared the TV spotlight in an episode of Housecat, Housecalls, that airs on Animal Planet. So we're going to find out what life is like for Kerri Kasem and Kid D right after we pay for this show by taking a commercial break. So sit, stay, we'll be right back.
Time for a pause. 4 furry ones, actually. Sit and stay. Oh Behave will be right back.
There's a movement afoot. ShoeBuy.com. Join the millions of people who shop ShoeBuy.com's over 400 brands and 500,000 products. Order now and get free shipping and free return shipping. ShoeBuy.com, the world's greatest shoe store.
Walk your dog in style and comfort. Enter the code BEHAVE, B-E-H-A-V-E, at checkout and get a 10% discount plus free shipping at ShoeBuy.com.
Love your pets but wish their medications were a lot less expensive? They are at 1-800-PET-MEDS. You'll not only save on flea and heartworm medications, but on prescriptions for arthritis, incontinence, thyroid, and more. And you get fast service, free shipping, and a 100% satisfaction guarantee. Plus, our licensed pharmacists ensure accuracy, monitor drug interaction, and more. See why over 5 million people have trusted their pet's health to 1-800-PET-MEDS, America's largest pet pharmacy. Call now or order online.
Go to petmeds.com/behave, B-E-H-A-V-E, to get 10% off any order and free shipping on orders of $39 or more.
I love animals. If you ask the question, what do I want? What do I need? I'll take affection. We should mention I need time, I need love, I crave attention. This is the waiting by
I Love My Pets, the new single by Mark Winter. Available in iTunes.
Want to know what cats like to eat for breakfast? Mice Krispies, of course. Learn everything there is to know about cats on Catitude with your host, Tom Dock. Each week, we'll spotlight a cool cat breed, give up-to-date advice on cat health, and check out spiffy new cat products. So curl up on the couch every week for a perfectly enjoyable time on Catitude, every week on demand, only on PetLifeRadio.com. Let's Talk Pets on PetLifeRadio.com. Oh Behave is back with more tail-wagging ways to achieve harmony in the household with your pets. Now back to your fetching host, America's pet edutainer, Arden Moore.
Welcome back to the O Behave Show on Pet Life Radio. I'm your host, Arden Moore. Our special guest is radio personality Kerri Kasem. Yes, that last name is familiar. Kasem. Okay, Kerri, it's time to let the cat out of the bag. Please give the listeners a little bio on your family tree.
Well, my dad is Casey Kasem, and, he did the top 40 countdown, and he was, everybody, he thinks everybody knows him for the top 40, but when he starts talking, especially when he talks at colleges, and he says, I created the top 40, but my biggest claim to fame is I was Shaggy on Scooby-Doo, and people go crazy.
Oh, really?
Your dad was Shaggy? Yeah. So people go nuts when they find that out. Yeah.
Scooby-Doo. Scooby-Doo and Cesar Millan had the same birthday and birth year.
I had no idea.
There you go.
Fact.
There you go. There's a factoid for you, Well, you're all over the place, and you seem to be, I saw your pictures at Comic-Con. That's the place in San Diego. I live in San Diego County. So you got this gallery. You got Jack Osborne you're a picture with, and some others. Tell us about how that was this weekend.
Well, Comic-Con is great. It started off as this tiny little convention in San Diego for trading comic books. And then all of a sudden, it starts, just getting bigger and bigger and bigger till there's 250,000 people there. The movie industry really realized that they could capitalize on all the people down there, and they moved in, which made it just huge. And I have a couple costumes. I have the slave Leia costume from Star Wars, and I have Wonder Woman, and so I really kind of got into it with some friends of mine, and it's really fun.
So how can people check out your gallery?
If you can go to my Facebook. You can find me on Facebook at Kerri Kasem. That's KerriKasem.com. And actually that'll take you to Facebook, MySpace, everything else. So just KerriKasem.com. It'll lead you to the Sixth Sense, everything I'm doing right now.
Okay, so it's the whole Kerri Kasem universe, right? And beyond.
I wish it was the Kerri Kasem universe, but it's really not.
When your dad was doing the American Top 40, I always seemed to tune in when I was doing those long car rides, and I was always trying to guess the number one song. Never made it.
People always thought I knew about music, too, which is hilarious. I grew up with people thinking I'd be an encyclopedia of music, and I couldn't. I was a talk radio junkie, so I really liked talk radio, and I loved music, but I wasn't crazy into it. Some people would listen to my dad's top 40 and write down every single song and where it was at on the chart so they could predict the next week, and I never got to that.
Well, they didn't get any big prizes. They weren't getting new houses. It wasn't, nobody's coming knocking on their door with keys to a house, but wow, that's competition.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Well, let's talk a little bit about you and cats, because the show is called Oh Behave, and we're all about cats, dogs, and other critters. But I checked out the Housecall episode that you were on that aired, I guess, last year on Animal Planet.
Yes.
We've had them on our show before. I think it's great. It's like power to the paw for cats. What is up with this? There's more cats than dogs, but yet there seems to be more media attention on dogs. So what were your thoughts when they gave you a call and said they wanted to put you on the Housecat Housecall?
Well, it was funny because, they said I was talking about my cat, and I talk about him all the time on the radio, but I was on a station out here in Los Angeles called 97.1, the FM talk station. So I would talk about my cat all the time, and they heard it. And they called me up, and they said, hey, how would you like to be on this reality show? called Housecat, Household. And my immediate reaction was, no, I just don't do reality shows. I've been on 2. I don't like how they're produced. I just don't like them. So I turned them down 2 or 3 times. And they said, no, you just need to watch it. It's nothing that's going to be, put you in a bad light. And we really, really want to, you talk about your cat and the way he goes to work with you and drives the car with you and goes everywhere with you. And we just really want to highlight that. So I took a look at a couple of the episodes, and I really liked the way and just the way they portrayed cats. It was a lot different than what you're used to seeing. So I said yes.
Now, speaking of cats, I thought I had a cool cat. I have a cat named Zeke that can go anywhere and run for office, shake paws, and come when you call her, wear a harness, all this fun stuff. But Kitty, oh my gosh, this tuxedo cat of yours with beautiful black and white markings has to be the most mellow, charismatic, coolest cat I have ever met. And I think a lot of it has to do with hanging out with you.
Yeah, I rescued him in about, it's 11 years ago now. And he just goes with me everywhere. When I put him in the car the first few times, we would always just go somewhere fun. Like I'd take him to Starbucks and I'd give him a treat. I'd give him a little treat wherever we went. So he got used to jumping in the car, so he knew we were going to go somewhere and he was going to get a treat. So that's the first thing I always tell people when they say, oh, my cat would never do that. He'd claw me to death. He'd freak out, it's hard enough getting him in the box. I said, yeah, when you throw him in a box and take him to some place that's going to, scare him, he's not going to want to get in the box going in your car because he's going to think he's going to the vet. So I said always, start with just taking your kitty around, the corner, just go around the block and give him a little treat and let him out. And just make the ride a little longer each time, and he'll want to jump in the car. When I pull up, Kitty will jump right in the car.
What kind of treat does he go for?
I call it kitty crack. And it's those, it's the dried chicken from Halo. It's
okay.
It's a dehydrated chicken. Oh, he loves that. He likes the greenies. Not so much anymore since I found the dried out dehydrated chicken. He just loves that. So I'll give him some fish sometimes. Like I will actually go get like sushi for him. And the stuff in the car. The easiest thing is those dried chicken bits.
I wonder if he's just picturing a very, very emaciated chicken while he's eating it or something, if it's dehydrated.
It tastes crunchy and yummy. He just loves it. I mean, he goes crazy for it. So
in the episode that you were on, let's tee it up a little bit on the Housecat Housecall, and everybody you can go to housecathousecall.com on Animal Planet and click to the Coffee Cat episode. Set up what's happening, because you have a pretty well-behaved cat, but there were some challenges that you wanted Dr. Katrina Warren to help you out on.
Right. She was great. She says, your cat is really great. She said to me, this is 1 in a million, your cat, and you're never going to find another cat like this, and you need to keep him safe. Because she knew that he would be in a car with me and not in a carrier, and I'd take him to Starbucks with me all the time. So we would sit there having, I call it his little kitty latte. It's not really a latte, no. He'd have a little cup, I'd have mine, and he would just sit there, and we would sit and drink our drinks. And she said, if anything ever scared him and he bolted, you'd be in trouble. I said, yeah, but he won't be walked. He doesn't like the, harness or a collar. He has a collar with his name tags always on him and
right.
his the number. But she said, you should really just, get him used to being in a little harness. Doesn't mean you have to, pull him around on it, but just get used to it. And I remember trying to stick harnesses on him or put him in a carrier and fought it and wouldn't be happy and was angry. So we got this dog harness. So it was a lot bigger than the tight cat harnesses. And we started with that, and we put it on him for a few minutes at a time and just let him kind of go. Didn't even hook it up to a leash or anything. And we let him walk around with it, and he was okay. And then we actually put the leash on it, but just still let him kind of do his own thing. So when I took him out in it, he was fine. It was like I could still hold on to him. So if anything happened, or he bolted, which he hasn't yet, but if anything did happen, it would be safe, especially in the car, too. It's a lot safer when you have the harness and you're not holding on to him. So
right, because cats don't survive airbags, you know what I'm saying?
No, not at all.
They're little projectials dashing about in your car. So yeah. I'm glad. He's not a little guy. How big is he?
He's 12 pounds.
Okay.
So he's between my brother's cat, which is this huge fat cat, which I'm trying to get the poor thing on a diet. Between that and smaller, he's medium. I would say he's a big medium cat.
Okay.
Not too huge.
Now, do you have any other critters, or is Kid D the one?
Well, let's see. My boyfriend has 17 rats now. All like Dumbo-eared rats and hairless rats and all these different kinds of breeds of rats, which I love rodents. And I've always wanted a squirrel, and I know I can't have them, but I've always wanted squirrels. And so I grew up with hamsters and mice and rats. So we have the rats and the cat, and I've always had animals, horses, dogs, snakes, anything. I'm such a huge animal lover.
And how does Katie take to your boyfriend's rats?
Well, he's good when they're caged. So
okay.
I had a rat, Ratty Pie. That was his name, and he knew not to touch Ratty Pie, even when Ratty was out of the cage. But my cat is an indoor-outdoor cat, and he does kill rats, and he does kill birds, and he kills everything. He's in his older age, which I'd say he's like midlife right now. He doesn't kill so much, thank God, because it was just a mess. It was horrible, and I saved a lot of the creatures that he caught, but sometimes I couldn't. So I was worried about that a little bit. But it's funny when he knows the smell of, I don't know, maybe they're the caged rats, and he knows that they're pets, he doesn't go after them.
You know, he's getting mature in his older age. He's kind of a live and let live kind of a cat, it sounds like now.
Yeah, so far so good. He has not killed any. He was so bad, we always thought he would like drag in the neighbor's cats because he was such a killer when I first got him. But he's mellowed out.
Well, we're going to talk more with Kerri Kasem and what's going on with her cat, Kid D, and some of the work she does, like with Best Friends Animal Society, Purina, and more, right after we take this commercial break. So sit and stay. We'll be right back.
Time for a walk on the red carpet, of course. All Behave will be back in a flash right after these messages.
FTD's network of over 40,000 florists around the world have been creating beautiful handcrafted arrangements for 100 years. Each arrangement is delivered the same day and backed by FTD's 7-day satisfaction guarantee. For a century, people have trusted their most important occasions to the flower experts at FTD.
Since Pet Life Radio is all about puppy dogs and flowers, our listeners, that's you, can get a 20% discount on your order. Just go to fleurop.com and use the code OBEHAVE at checkout. FLEUROP.com. Code word OHBEHAVE.
We really love pets. There isn't anything we won't do to make sure they're getting the best products and the best care. So when you ask us a question like,
so how do you feel about cat condos?
We can say from experience,
feels like home for her.
Enter the code BEHAVE10. Behave, the number 10, and get 10% off any order. No minimum at petco.com.
Hello? Danica, where have you been?
Oh, Grandma, I've been busy, racing, GoDaddy girl.
Oh, I built my own online store with GoDaddy.
Really? Let me see. Grandma'sAuction.com. Hey, are those Grandpa's golf clubs?
Grandma needs her bingo money.
Use promo code BEHAVE10, BEHAVE, the number 10, and get a .com domain name for just $7.49 at GoDaddy.com.
Pet Life Radio presents Paranormal Pets, where you can always expect the unexpected. Each week we'll discuss all aspects of weird or spiritual animal encounters, ghosts, totems, psychic animals, animal souls, animal angels, and animals in religion, with a little cryptozoology thrown in. Step into the supernatural world of pets with your Paranormal Pets ghostly host, Dusty Rainbolt, every week on demand, only on PetLifeRadio.com.
Let's talk pets.
Let's talk pets
on Pet Life Radio.
PetLifeRadio.com.
PetLifeRadio.com.
Hi, this is Jim Davis, the creator of Garfield, urging you to listen to the Oh Behave Show with Arden Moore on Pet Life Radio.
Oh, yeah? We'll see about that.
We're back from the lot. Just checked the paper and we had a record showing at the box. The letterbox, that is. Now back to Oh Behave. Here's Arden.
Welcome back to the Oh Behave Show on Pet Life Radio. I'm your host, Arden Moore. I'm delighted that we have Kerri Kasem on our show. She is the daughter of Casey Kasem, for all you folks that know the America Top 40. I won't sing that song. But you like talk radio. You said you're a talk radio junkie. But I also saw in your biography you usually don't turn down a karaoke invite. Is that true?
No, it's true. I love karaoke. And, in fact, there's new pictures of me on Facebook at karaoke. Somebody put them up there. It's so funny. I'll just find, you can tag somebody's photo. So
right.
I didn't realize that my friends were taking pictures of me up singing karaoke. So that's embarrassing. It's all over my website. And no, I love karaoke, but I'm not a kind of go out person. I don't go to Hollywood or the clubs or anything like that. When I do go out, it's if I am going to be found in a bar, it's a karaoke bar.
Okay, well, that's good to know. Now, can you ever sneak in kitty? I mean, people always have signed no dogs allowed, but they've never say no cats allowed. So you could get him in on a technicality, couldn't you?
Well, that's why I have karaoke parties at my house, and he'll sit there. He'll sit there and watch us sing, and he's so cute about that. And when I play piano and guitar, and whenever my friends are over and we're singing or we're playing music, he will lay right on the piano and just hang out. He loves music. It's very cute.
So how good of a karaoke singer are you? Are you what's your octave level, I guess?
Oh man, I used to sing when I was in high school and college. I did a lot of musicals, so I would sing a lot of Broadway stuff. I'm decent. I'm not crazy great. Like, let's see, I have this really Broadway type of voice, so when I try and sing pop tunes, it doesn't come off so well.
Okay, so you could do an Oklahoma, right? You'd be like the girl who can't say no? Okay.
Exactly. But not, trying to sing Beyonce or anything like, pop, it's not so good.
So you can be the girl who can't say no, but you can't be the girl who put a ring on it?
There you go.
Okay, I just need to clarify, because there are different degrees of karaoke singers, and I won't ever sing. I'm the official clapper at the audience. I clap for you guys.
Right. But it's fun. That's what karaoke's all about. Unfortunately, some of the places I do go, there's professional singers, and I'll take my friends. I'm like, no, karaoke, we just get up there, it doesn't matter. And then all these people come on, and they sound like records. They sound like they have their own albums, and so it intimidates people, and they don't get up there.
I kind of like people that are like, they put the human in human, don't you? I mean, it's kind of nice to be flawed a bit.
Yeah, it can be.
So if your cat, Kitty, could be had the power of vocalization, how do you think your cat would be as a co-host for your podcast and other radio spots? I mean, if you could get in the mind, you're very bonded with this cat. So I'm just wondering, what's the bubble that's in front of Kitty's mouth that you know what he's saying?
That's funny, because I see him. If he were a person, he'd be from New York. And it's funny because before I moved into my home, I was in this apartment building that was behind a Mel's Drive-In, which is a little diner. And Kitty would go down to the diner, and first they would call me, hey, have you lost your cat? I said, no, I live right behind you guys. And so they got used to him coming down there, and he would just hang out with the people sitting on the patio. And I always pictured me coming down there with him, sitting up at maybe even the what's it called? The desk where they right up there at the counter, and his little legs hanging over, swinging with his tail up in the air, with his cup of joe, just talking about how he escaped and got over here and had to take a break. And I always picture him as this he's a tough cat, so this kind of New York accent. So, it's so cute. I would love to have him as a co-host. I'd love to have him as a little human. I always say my kitty, my life, and my little man in a furry cat suit. And he's just such a part of me. I love him so much.
Well, the one thing I do know, you'll never be caught wearing fur, except if maybe some of the sprinkles of hair from Kitty, right, on your clothes.
That's right.
And you come from what, a 2 or 3 generation of vegetarians?
Yeah, well, my father's a vegan, and then so it's second generation. I'm a vegan. My sister's a vegetarian. My brother goes on and off, with being vegetarian to not being a vegetarian. But yeah, so second, I guess, would be second generation.
And let's talk a little bit about some of the things you've done in the world of pets. I know you've helped out, I guess, Purina and Best Friends Animal Society in Utah.
Yeah, I've always given a lot of money to Best Friends and to Last Chance for Animals, dogsindanger.com, where they actually have a clock running by. They go to the pounds and they find the dogs that are about to be put down, and they will put a clock by that dog's picture so you know how long that dog has to live. So that's a great one. So you can get, the Dogs in Danger. I think it's dogsindanger.com. I hope that's right. That's a great organization. And Best Friends, of course.
Oh, I think you did something with Purina. Is that right or not?
Oh, yeah, Purina Cat Chow. It was a Housecat Housecall presented by Purina Cat Chow, and they were just wonderful. I mean, really, really wonderful to work with. And I actually, Kitty and I should post some of these pictures so your listeners can see this. But Kitty and I went to New York with them, and we got on Virgin Airlines, and Virgin was wonderful with animals, just wonderful. And I actually wasn't supposed to do this, but I put Kitty on the seat next to me because they had bought 2 seats for me so I could place the carrier, but the carrier has to go underneath the seat. So I actually put Kitty right next to me on the seat, and he sat the entire time right next to me just while we were on the plane. We went to, we got in a taxi, so I have, pictures of Kitty in the taxi looking out in New York, and then we went to the Empire State Building, and we were on a few radio shows together, so he came in with me to do the radio show, and he just hung out with me the entire time. And,
yeah, we definitely we'd love to see those pictures. I'm just wondering, here's this cat looking like 20, 30,000 feet above saying, I think way down there is a bird from the window, right?
Seriously. Oh, yeah. He's such a good kitty. I just love him so much.
And how is his health? Is he pretty healthy?
Yeah, he goes in for his yearly checkups. He just got his teeth done, and I give him vitamins. I'm telling you, I have seen such a huge improvement in him since I started giving him vitamins. And gosh, I think it's called Flying Basset or Flying. I can't remember the name of these great vitamins, but I just put a little in his food every night and every morning, and his coat is shinier. He has more energy, just like humans. We need nutrients too that are lacking in our foods. It's so much healthier. So I've done that. I started feeding him some raw things, like a raw egg a week, just the yolk, not the whites. It's no good for them. Getting really into his nutrition, and he's 11, but he plays like a kitten, constantly wants to play, constantly running around.
That's great. We are speaking to Kerri Kasem, and she's a radio show host. You can go to thekpod.com to see her podcast. Let's talk a little bit about your role with Nikki Sixx on the bass guitarist for Motley Crue fame.
He's great. It's called The Sixth Sense, and six like the number 6 with 2 X's. The Sixth Sense. You can find it at thesixthsense.com. It's actually terrestrial. It's on FM stations all across the country. Soon to be on XM, and it's in Canada. It's everywhere now. But it's just really funny. Such a great guy to work with. We talk anything from rock and roll to lifestyle. We talk to his friends who all happen to be like major rock stars. It's really fun. We play good rock music, and I have a blast doing it.
Well, you had something, you just got back from the Bahamas. I'm looking at your most recent episode, and it's got something like Bahamas, racist, and Mel Gibson. I'm like, okay, how does this all connect? What was that episode about?
Oh, we went from talking about, it was a quick trip to the Bahamas, 3 days. I was in and out. It was the first time I've ever been there. Really fun, but it was actually a work trip, so we only got a couple days there, but it was fun, and we talked a little bit about that and the airlines that I flew. You have to listen to the show because the funniest part about the whole trip was the airline ride, and the airline we took. I talk about it on the show, so it's really funny. I have video of that too. I think we put some of that up. But then we went from talking to that to talking about, the latest Mel Gibson news and why we think he does it, and just talking a little bit about what we think is going on there. And then, it's just topical. So we go from, and a lot of it's pretty funny, the way we discuss stuff. It's not dry.
Well, I see the picture of Gibson with the phrase, "I hate fake breast." For show 165, you got to dash over to thekpod.com, and I think we've teased them, right? Don't you think, to make them tune in?
Yeah, I hope so. It is a funny show. I mean, we go off. We also talk about ridiculous things. Like he's saying I hate fake breasts because we talk about a woman who wanted to get in the Guinness Book of World Records for having the largest breasts, yet they were putting her life at risk. So we talk about that story too.
You know, that's the cool thing about cats. They are very candid, and they don't really try to be somebody they're not. I mean, have you ever had, like Kitty say, I really need to get, a new facial, or my whiskers aren't just sitting right on my face? I mean, there's some lessons, I guess, in vanity we can learn from cats. And
you're going to think I'm crazy, and so are your listeners, but I've always said, how easy would it be if we were just covered in fur? So much easier. I mean, it's like, gosh, you wouldn't have to do anything. And it's just, you could dye your fur, I guess, or bleach it, or do some fun stuff with your fur. But I would love to be just like, instead of skin, fur. We wouldn't have to worry about all that stuff.
Yeah, and you think about it, compare a cat to a dog, and a dog gets their muzzle gray really quickly, and, they look older. I had a cat 20 years, and honest to gosh, I think we'd have to card him because he always looked very youthful. There's something about the cats with their eyes and the way their faces. They must have done something nice with God or something to get kind of an ageless look.
I agree. They are so beautiful, just unbelievably just beautiful creatures, and ageless as well. So Kitty's pretty lucky.
Well, I'm very delighted that we've had Kerri Kasem on our show as a guest. Kerri, you got to help me out. Let's run down some things that people can check you out on, okay?
Okay, you can always find me at Facebook, but, KerriKasem.com is the easiest way because it does have, like you said, the Kerri Kasem universe. It has my everything where you can find me at. If you want pictures, the best one is Facebook. And then SixthSense.com has a bunch of videos up of what I've been doing in the last year, really some funny stuff, also some pictures there as well. But yeah, the kpod.com, you can find me, it's the kpod.com or the KerriKasemPodcast.com. They both go to the same thing.
That makes it easy.
It is. It does make it easy. You can type in a whole bunch of stuff. It actually goes to the kpod.com. So, yeah. And
we'll give a shout out to your dad. Does he have any pets, Casey Kasem?
He's always had two little Yorkies. It's like, it's funny. Till they died, they say they last, I don't know, his last pair was like 15 years old, but then they always get Yorkies again. Just, I don't know why.
Hey, that's a mystery only fathers can tell us on.
Yeah, usually it's not his decision.
Oh, I gotcha. Well, he knows, he's a smart husband, right?
Right.
All right. Well, thank you very much for being on the show. You've got to give Kitty the healthiest, nicest treat from all of us from Oh Behave on Pet Life Radio. And for my cats, I've got Zeke and Murphy. They give a big paws up to both of you because it sounds like you're doing a lot of good for a lot of 2 and 3 and 4-leggers out there. So that's what we're all about, too.
Absolutely. Well, it's a pleasure meeting you.
Well, I have a great face for radio. You'll have to check out my website's called 4leggedlife.com. I have a pet community, so you can get crazy and check that out. I have some pretty funny. I have some funny videos on YouTube, like my dog peeing in a hotel pool and other things.
No. Oh no!
I can't believe that's why my show's called Oh Behave. But no, she's a good girl. She's a good girl. And I also want to, at this time, thank our cool producer, Mark Winter. He keeps us sane on this show each and every week. So until next time, this is your flea-free host, Arden Moore, delivering just 2 words to all you 2, 3, and 4-leggers out there. Oh, behave.
Coast to coast and around the world, it's Oh Behave with Arden Moore. Find out why cats and dogs do the things they do and get the latest buzz from wagging tongues and tails in Rin Tin Tinseltown. From famous pet experts and best-selling authors to television and movie stars, you'll get great tail-wagging pet tips and have a fur-flying fun time. Oh Behave with America's pet edutainer, Arden Moore. Every week on demand. This is the place for a special paparazzi treat. Only on PetLifeRadio.com.